Hi, welcome to a video on April 2023. I've been really asking myself what this video was going to be about, and I've spent the last few days just noticing. And one of the things I notice is that life is just telling me what works and what doesn't. And I think that as we go into April, that's going to get louder and louder. In other words, there are some things in your life that don't work, but our ego tries to keep it working. We used to do this a lot more in the past. For instance, have you ever had it where you know that a relationship is trying to end, but you have this little kid in you that's fighting to make it work, even though you deep down know inevitably it's going to break off? Imagine if in April, there's less and less of that kid arguing, and the things that are supposed to break off just break off. And imagine that same kid that tries to keep things working that don't work is the same kid that kind of denies effortless things that do work. You see, if you just follow what life says, your ego has no job. Right. And more as we transcend different stories from our past and we transcend our inner child that's trying to fight to keep things going, we're going to get more and more in touch with just what is, what's true, what is just trying to work in your life and what isn't. And you start to listen to a true highest, which is what the universe is telling you. Like your highest isn't just what that little kid wants. A lot of people mistake that. They go, my highest excitement would be to keep this relationship going no matter what, even though it's like opposing magnets that are not a good fit, right? But when two magnets are not a good fit, you could also just honor the universe and go, I see that this is not a good fit. And when something is a good fit, you also honor the universe and go, wow, this is effortless. But my ego has nothing to overcome if I just receive this effortless thing. April is more and more of just really honoring what life is telling you life is supposed to be. There's less and less of an argument, less and less force, less and less keeping people in your life that it's trying to break off of you so that you don't have to carry their baggage or their shame or their anger or anything else. It's just you listening. Hey, this doesn't work. I honor that. Hey, this does work. I do. And you start following what you're supposed to do that way. And also, this is going to be so much more peaceful and so much more joy. And it's going to create so much more of an explosion of change in your life because you're not arguing with what is as much. And the less and less you argue with what is, the more and more life can move. See, life has a hard time moving when you're arguing with it because it goes, well, I have to keep repeating this thing that you don't see until you finally understand and let go of it. But if that little kid isn't in the way and trying to just continually block what the universe is trying to do, what life is trying to do, what God is trying to do, then all of a sudden it can move things much quicker because you're listening, you're processing. It's not only on the external, it's on the internal. In other words, you don't even need to change things that you feel. As you listen, you're just going to be present for the feelings of loneliness, the feelings of abandonment, whatever. And the more you listen without distraction, right, the more it can be heard and the faster it can transcend itself. I don't know if you've noticed this month, this last month, March, having a lot of moments of releasing or at least feeling heavier emotions than usual, right? That's because life is moving it up. Life is trying to change things. Life is trying to get you to see new things about yourself. So it's taking things and it's bringing them up for you bigger and bigger and bigger. And some people have started the process of really, really, really releasing, and they're starting to see a new reality. And in the new reality, they are much more in harmony with what is. And the more they really see things as they are, the faster their life can move because they're not in an argument with it. Remember, when you're in an argument with life, it has to keep repeating itself until you let go. That's why when you're in an argument with a relationship breakup that's supposed to happen, right? Okay, we'll keep having that fight over and over and over. We'll keep having that same argument. We'll keep going through this until you finally let go and just listen. Listen to God saying, this doesn't work. More and more, you won't even have to listen to God saying this doesn't work because it'll just be the truth is this doesn't work. It won't be a little kid anymore listening and releasing. It's just you following what you're supposed to follow. And more as we move into April, and you're going to see in future months, you're going to start to move in more and more harmony with what is. And you're going to hear life tell you what your next steps are versus you following the fantasy of what the kid wants. Right? Because sometimes the kid could go, I really want that relationship. I want that job. I want that connection. And then you go into it and you're going, why doesn't it work? And the universe is like, because I have better for you. I'm trying to move all of life for you. And sometimes your battle is between what the universe wants and what your ego wants. And whenever your ego wants it, the universe has to go, all right, I'll let you see why I'm saying this. I have better for you, but you're just going to keep saying you want this thing over and over and over. So I'm going to keep making it suck for you until you finally release your grip and you listen and you follow what I say. And then you start to realize, oh my God, that little kid that was trying to change these things isn't even me, because that kid can be cried out and you'll still be here. So then you start to go, so what am I? And you start to realize you are the one that's telling you this doesn't work. You are all of life. You're just following what it says. You're following yourself. You are the higher guidance, because there is no kid at all that actually exists. So when the kid leaves, then you start to really move. You start to move with life because you don't honor the things that your little kid wants. You honor what you're supposed to do. Things get less personal, things get less egoic, things get less stuck, things get less painful, and you start to just move with flow. That's how I was able to do this talk right now. I'm just hearing what is versus trying to say what my ego wants to say. In fact, earlier, before I started this video, I had an idea for a video for you and it didn't work. And I just heard I have to say what's here. There's what's here and there's what my ego wants to say. Same thing with life. There's what is and there's what your ego wants. And you're going to get really good at just hearing what is and moving accordingly. Life will move so much faster for you because you've never experienced life without this egoic, I need it to be a certain way energy. Oh, the harmony, the freedom, the joy, the adventure that awaits you when it's not what your ego had planned on, but what life's telling you to do. There's freedom here. And April is going to be a great month for you to practice that. Notice just what is. Don't try to make things what you want. What is, follow it. Go on a real adventure that you don't egoically understand. I promise it'll bring you so much more than you could have ever imagined.